Here is a skateboard example, and the point of this warm-up is to practice with what's called mirror and doing things in symmetry. So we've talked about this in the past, but I want you guys to get an idea of how, how to utilize it, just different ways to use the extrude symmetry. But what I'm also looking for is the mirror. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete these one at a time so you can see. So I made half of this and then I mirrored it forward. And then let's delete that, and you can see I also mirrored this wheel over to here. And then I made, let's delete all of this. Here we go. So this is the first part of the skateboard, and it's made up of 3 extrusions. The deck, the top part of the truck, and the bottom part of the truck. So this part down here is both together is the truck, or the trucks, if you will, for the front and the back, and then the wheel. So that's all you have to make this entire skateboard. Now you can make this a different way, but I want you to practice with doing this mirror. And you could even, if you wanted to, you could make half of this way, mirror it over this way, and then create the wheel, mirror that over, and then mirror this forward. But I want to show you a different way to do this because I want you to see some things that happen here and the things that make this easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a brand new sketch. And before I do that, let me go back so I can put this back together. And I will go ahead and create a new part. So I'm going to start this on the front view, and I'm going to create, now you can do this also a couple different ways, but I'm going to do it one way, and if you're interested, I can show you other ways to do it too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a line that comes out, and I'm not doing this any specific size. And then I'm going to choose an arc, a 3-point arc, and I'm going to make this little tail. Okay? If you see when I move this around, see how it shows a little tangent mark, a little circle with a line on it. Let's say I didn't do that. I can always come back and create a tangent between my arc and here. And then you can adjust this however you want, and you can move, you can move this back and forth to change the way that looks. Then we're going to use a command called offset. And I'm going to choose offset. I'm going to go this way. You can click on this and flip it back and forth. And then I'm going to click on this. And once you have what you want, you can click out of it and then change this to, let's say, I don't know, for me, I'm going to make it smaller. So it's a thin little skateboard. And then you can close this in the front. This is going to be my mirror plane. And you can close it in the back. If you wanted to, you could also do this with an arc. And go arc, and from here to here, and then create like a little area back here. And when you do it right, it should be closed in just like that, okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to choose this. I'm going to choose this and go symmetric, okay? And then I'm going to just hand stretch it till it looks like the width of a skateboard that I like, okay? Then I'm going to hit check, and I'm going to turn off these because I don't need these anymore. Hide all planes. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangle right here. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create, I need it to be perfectly centered. So if I drew a rectangle like this, I'm never going to be able to get it centered without measuring it. So now what I can do is I can create a sketch on this front view again. And what that does is it perfectly splits this in the middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. Now I could just go ahead and draw this. You know, I could create my little truck piece like this, and it goes inside. If I want it to touch here, there's no line up inside there. So if I wanted it to meet perfectly with this line at the bottom, what I would have to do is go up here to project geometry and steal this. Project, or use project. It's called project geometry in Inventor. And we'll drag this, and it should, see how it doesn't touch there yet? But what I can do is I can then recreate this rectangle, and it allows me to connect to that line now. Okay, and there is my little line that I made with this tool right here, project, and it attaches there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and extrude this. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to symmetric, and I want to make it thin, something like that. There's my little truck. Then I'm going to create another sketch on that front view again. And I'm going to create another project geometry. And I'm going to choose this. And I'm going to draw a, let's see, I want a circle. There we go. In the middle, I'm going to make it like that. Okay. This is the axle. And then when I extrude this, I'm going to make my axle. Oops. Hey now. Let's try that again. That's very interesting. It won't allow me to select the whole thing. I'll have to extrude it from here. That is very interesting. And then we go to symmetric, and I'm going to make this go out a little bit more. You can make this, you know, this cylinder whatever size you want. You can look up skateboards and come up with some ideas. But it doesn't really matter. I'm going to make a little off-road deal, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another sketch here. And I'm going to make my off-road wheel. Okay? And then I'm going to extrude it a length that I feel like is a good size for an off-road skateboard wheel. I think they actually are, the piece is lower. And I'll show you, this is actually pretty cool. So see how that wheel comes up too high? All I have to do is go back to this sketch here and drag it down and hit check, and boom, it lowered my wheel down. So there is my off-road skateboard. I am done. But what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go in and I'll show you, this is pretty neat. So I'm going to make the whole entire skateboard part. Let's make my skateboard like red. And then I'm going to make the trucks, both of these. I'm going to make these dark gray. And then I'm going to make my wheel here. I'm going to make this like a light blue. Okay? That's the regular color. I'm going to make it light green. Okay. So here is my skateboard. Now watch this. This is the cool part. Okay? There we go. This is the cool part. Now I'm going to go to mirror. And I first want to take my wheel. So I'm going to say, for the mirror, I'm going to say feature mirror. And I'm going to mirror the wheel here over the front view that I made. Oops. Front view. And then it creates the wheel on the other side. And when I hit check, I can, when I go back to my color, I can click on this, and I can also click on this mirror. And it automatically changes that color too. Okay? So then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to mirror again. And I'm going to choose, for my mirror, I want my whole entire part, everything. I want everything to mirror over. And then I'm going to choose my mirror plane. And I'm going to choose this here. And you can even see it copies the colors. So when I mirror it, boom, there's my skateboard, okay? All I want you to do is take a Snagit picture of this and turn it in.